From San Jose, California, in the heart of Silicon Valley, it's theCUBE. Covering Hadoop Summit 2016. Brought to you by Hortonworks. Here's your host, John Furrier.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here live in Silicon Valley in San Jose for Hadoop Summit 2016. I'm John Furrier. This is theCUBE, SiliconANGLE Media's flagship program, where we go out to the events and extract the signal from noise. Next guest is Purohit, who's the Group President of Enterprise Solutions Organization, Business Unit at BMC. Welcome to theCUBE.
Great to be here.
So BMC's transformed itself as a company.
Yep.
We're here at Hadoop, big data. I'm kind of connecting the dots. Instrumenting things, management software, big data, servicing applications. Give us the update about the new BMC. You're new to the role at the company a few years, now promoted up to be Group President of the Enterprise Solutions. What's the new BMC?
New BMC is all about digital. So we're helping enterprise customers go through digital transformation. Big data is absolutely central to all of that. And we're finding that all the things we've always done in optimizing data, securing infrastructure, helping them run IT services like a business, they're all relevant, but things are moving much, much faster than ever before.
And why Hadoop Summit? Why the connection here?
Yeah.
Tie that together. I kind of can guess, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, we just launched a bunch of new solutions for big data, in particular around Hadoop. So we launched a solution to optimize and automate applications that include Hadoop with the rest of your applications in the enterprise. We think this is the year that Hadoop has grown up, and you got to prove the value of those projects. So big data clusters don't exist in isolation. So you want to automate processes across SAP, cloud applications, Hadoop applications, all of that with one end-to-end solution. So really excited about that, and particularly for the crew here, we opened up a bunch of new APIs in our flagship product, Control-M. So now you can program in with JSON, all those Hadoop jobs into the same job scheduling engine, but use for the rest of your enterprise applications.
And really it's about automation. I mean, one of the things that I saw in your announcement was that automation, bringing it through to security, so moving data around, setting up these connectors.
That's right.
Because APIs have to be open now.
Right. Yeah.
So what's your role there? Management, systems management?
Right.
What specifically are you guys solving the problem in that news announcement?
So first thing is we allow people to automate jobs across every kind of application now, including Hadoop databases and applications. And then preventing that with a simple interface, so the developer community can leverage all that back office work to build very quickly in those interfaces and control planes into their application.
So big data extending past Hadoop is the other theme.
That's right.
Again, we're hearing over and over, multiple years now, but also, here in theCUBE, we saw a few years ago, the big whales coming in. So IBM, Oracle, all the top companies coming in amongst all the developer, open source, and startups.
Right.
What's changed? What's the big data landscape look like? Because it's just not just about Hadoop anymore.
Yeah.
What are you guys seeing in this vision?
Yeah, I think that the biggest challenge I think enterprise customers still face is they don't know which technology stack to bet on, quite frankly. I think that's getting better, but it's still quite confusing. The other thing that's hard is that how do you run all of it? So as big data grows up and now has to be part of the enterprise operations, well that means it costs money. And we talked to customers today that said, look, he told us, these guys, that I'm not going to put this big data cluster in production unless you tell them how much it's going to cost today and 6 months from now. And so one of the other things we're doing is we're helping people forecast their infrastructure capacity around their big data clusters so they actually can afford to run them. Right?
So in your talk here, what's the big theme?
Big theme is actually allowing big data to run in an integrated enterprise environment. Both automating across your applications, making secure all the infrastructure underneath it so you don't have sneaky ways of getting into your most valuable asset in your data, and then making sure you actually run this stuff on a budget.
So give me an example. I got a data lake out there, so I got this big data lake.
Right.
How do you guys fit into that architecture?
Well, I'll give you an example. So we're working with a major retailer that's very digitally savvy, and so they're automating both their back office stores and their web properties. And so they have big data clusters that are analyzing customer sentiment, but they want to connect that to all the other retail operations, their point of sale systems, their inventory systems, logistical systems. All of that's got to come together as one holistic end-to-end system.
So I got to ask you about the IT service management, IT operations. IT anything now is now programmatic. You mentioned APIs and mentioned some of those things you guys are offering. The data center has been, and BMC has been there for a long time as a brand, How's the new BMC leveraging its existing products while taking advantage of the historical data that you guys have with the customers? Because instrumentation's been around for a while. You guys have been doing systems management, service management. Has the open source community changed the strategy? And how does a developer work with you guys?
Well, the challenge for most people in data centers is that it's more complex than ever before. And technology is changing faster than ever before. So wrapping around high levels of automation and governance around all that stuff becomes even more important. So that hasn't changed. It actually creates more opportunity for us. The thing that really has changed is the expectations that all that IT tooling looks beautiful. Mobile first, designed around the personas of people using them. And by the way, the people that they're serving in the business, they want a sexy mobile app to get help with, right? So we focus a lot on...
And they want a targeted app that they like.
Yeah, that's right.
It has to be a good app, right?
That's right. So we put a ton of investment as we modernize our company on doing mobile first, persona-based design. So people just don't use our products, they love our products, and it makes it easier for them to collaborate with each other.
And so give me an example of how that's rendering it for a developer in an enterprise, because that's one of the hottest trends we saw at DockerCon last week was the container madness trend has highlighted that the enterprise development market's really on fire right now because of all the automation with DevOps. How is IT ops and how are you guys, where do you fit in that explosion?
Well, I think, I love the line that infrastructure is code, right? Because what DevOps is all about is making sure the developers have maximum control on where the code is going to run, how it's going to run, whether it's running properly. And so we're actually working with a big payment company right here in the Valley that's putting together big Mesos clusters to automate all these containerization and microservices architectures. But then all that has to be orchestrated. And you don't want a developer writing custom scripts every time they want.
Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, so we create that kind of control plane layer across all that stuff, and then again, give them the APIs to get access to what they need, orchestrate it, automate it, without having to write a million lines of code every time they do the same thing over and over.
So it's I love some of these big trends that happen. I want to get your thoughts specifically around BMC because of the historical relevance of systems management and IT service management and IT services in general. Oh, containers have been around for years. I've seen that movie before. So a lot of the things have happened, paradigms have happened in the past, but with a little twist. What are you guys seeing now? I mean, that's the same trend-like concept or paradigm that's being implemented differently given the architectural and the deployments are different. Obviously, cloud, big data. What are some of the things that you guys see that are consistent core competencies that BMC's carrying over to the new world?
Well, I think what hasn't changed is that there's more moving parts now. Those moving parts can be in multiple places, right? So the problem of increased complexity and heterogeneity has continued to explode. So we've always been about that. Now the difference is that it's moving so fast that driving extreme levels of automation around all of it, knowing how it's all connected to each other, because all the stuff automatically ultimately makes up a business service or an application some real person's going to use. So you have to be able to manage all that stuff and understand how it's related to each other, so you can actually make the most sense out of it.
Robin, what are some of the conversations you have with customers? I mean, is it, hey, we're instrumenting everything now, so everything's now digital, so if you say everything's digital, the next logical question is, you can actually instrument everything. Is that some of the conversations, or is it more basic, like, hey, I got to grow my top line revenue? Share with us some of the conversations
So
you're
one of the hottest conversations right now is how to make all this stuff secure, right? Because what we find is customers have tons of technologies that tell them where the problems are, where the vulnerabilities are. In fact, most of the times they know how to fix those vulnerabilities. What they don't have is the automation tools to take all that knowledge and make sure everything is actually running in a secure, safe state. So that's
surfacing these securely surfacing insights would be one.
So it's a marriage of secure operations is kind of what we're talking a lot about right now.
Secure ops.
Secure ops, that's a good word. I should use that more often. So that's one.
Creative Commons.
Running the multi-source cloud. So I think there's a big cloud movement, but the reality, every enterprise has a mix of
multi-cloud.
On-premise, outsourced cloud, SaaS, Amazon services.
That's more the norm now, right? Than it is the exception.
It is, but if you're the CIO, you have to make all that somehow work together, even though you have less and less control, right? So the job has gotten more complex and changed. So we're providing a lot of solutions to help them automate all of that.
All right, so I got to ask you, I know you were CEO of a growing startup. I think you raised over $25 million in equity at ClusterX. What attracted you to BMC? Because it's always hard to lure talent. That talent in migration usually is an indicator of kind of opportunity. There could be challenges, growth, opportunities, whatever they are. But what lured you in to look at and then accept the job at BMC?
Yeah, well, BMC has a long heritage of being very, very close to enterprise customers. And in fact, one of the first products BMC ever had was managing, mission-critical database clusters back on mainframe systems, and still where most of the transactional data sits today, right? So a long history of being very, very close to customers. And at a time of rapid change, when enterprises are looking for somebody to help them, being in a company that has the cover of being private to make the radical changes in business model and technology and take all those relationships and help those customers move forward, this is really the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity they saw at BMC.
Was there any technology that jumped out at you that you thought, wow, that's very relevant?
Yeah.
Share some insight there.
The thing that was the most surprising, most exciting when I came in the company is a product we call MyIT, which actually provides that kind of mobile self-service to get help from, for business people to get help on everything they need from IT. They can get the services they want from the cloud. They can collaborate with people if they need password to be reset. They can order new services, but all the same way they would as if they're using Uber or Facebook.
Great. Robin, thanks for coming on theCUBE. Really appreciate your insights. BMC here on theCUBE at Hadoop Summit 2016. We'll be right back with more live coverage. Day 2 of 3 days of coverage. Here you're watching theCUBE.